Welcome back, YouTube. Today we are playing PioFiore. We are continuing on the Orlok route and we are making good progress. However, my love for Yang has made a reappearance with a vengeance as per usual. You can watch me play live at twitch.tv/Pinker NeonNova. Enjoy the video. We're on chapter 3. Oh, thank God we're on chapter 3. I don't think we'll get all the way to chapter 8 tonight. Yeah, cold. C-O-L-D or K-O-L-D. Do I think we're going to get the good ending for this route? Probably not, but... And I want to finish this game because I want to play the other one that just came out, which is all bad endings before you get the good ending. That one's a horror game. All right. Narrator voice. I thought it would be best not to go to the church, but now I had a reason that forced me to go back. The Lao Shu are stationed at the church to protect the area. Even if I didn't go, they would still be there and likely causing trouble. If so, my head throbbed and I knew I needed to do something about it. I have to go. So I asked him, "Are you a pig or are you a rat?" Okay. Ha 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 ha. What an asshole. Excuse me. That's us. Huh? What's the matter, little saint? Don't call me that. Oh yeah. So what do you want, your holy? What you want, your holiness? I suppose he won't stop, will he? I took a deep breath, then jumped right to it. People come here to say their prayers to God. Well, I've got a damn story to tell to God myself. He'd probably roll around laughing like him. You don't have to say anything. You can talk to him from inside your heart. Also, you can't bring food and drinks in here. I pointed to the open bottle of liquor on the ground. I appreciate you coming to guard the place, but you need to follow the rules. It's scary reprimanding the Lao Shu, but it was my fault they were stationed here. I was responsible for their actions. The Lao Shu was the gang that I was kidnapped by. Well, I was kidnapped by Orlok and taken to the Lao Shu. And they're kind of being disrespectful about everything. She's right. This is Orlok. See, he's a little emo boy. Orlok stepped forward and backed up what I said. You came to guard the church, but all you're doing is defiling holy grounds. The two Lao Shu... Words are hard, man. The two Lao Shu soldiers looked at each other. Fine. Guess it can't be helped. Don't want Orlok breathing down my neck anyway. Yeah, and Yang did say to listen to what he says. But how are we supposed to drink them? You mind if we take a swig outside? Absolutely not. You both would be in plain sight. Parishioners visiting would run away if they saw those two drinking outside. In fact, it had happened a number of times already. But we're supposed to be guarding the place. They're very competent guards. I agree. That's okay. They can get super drunk and the Visconti can take them out, and then I can go be with Gil forever. But we're supposed to be guarding the place. We can't leave the grounds. Yeah, which means we have to drink somewhere inside, you know? I guess the option of not drinking at all isn't in them. As I thought about how to handle the men, I suddenly heard a voice. Well, why not drink in the refectory? Woo! Mama Sophia! Sister Sophia! Sounds good. Gotta hand it to the sister here. I whispered in Sophia's ear. Are you sure, Sister Sophia? It can't be helped. I can't have them scaring our visitors like this. If they drink in the confessional, it's already halfway done. Yeah, exactly, Cole. Sister Sophia's calm and rational voice made me feel even worse about what I'd done. Say, where's this refractory place again? Follow me. I'll take you there. I led the Lao Shu out of the church and walked towards the refractory. It'll be in that building. I pointed to show them the way. Suddenly, I noticed someone nearby. That's... Elena was in the garden with the children. They were sitting on the lawn, and Elena was reading a book to them. Follow the food smells. No, they can't have Elena's cooking. That's for me and the children only. Hey there, pretty girl. Why'd I make him sound like he was good at flirting? He can't have my wife. The Lao Shu called out to Elena and began walking towards her. Are you talking to me? That's my wife. That's my wife! Get away from her! Yeah, you. How about you leave them kids and come with us? No! They don't deserve to sound competent. Exactly. Can't have a drink without a girl like you. Get away from her! Huh? The two Lao Shu encircled Elena, who was confused by what was happening. Stop it. Stop it. I stomped towards them and stepped between Elena and the men. I sternly looked the two Lao Shu men straight in the eyes. I assume you're joking. Don't tell me you're seriously asking a person of the church to entertain you two. I couldn't hold back my anger, especially after seeing my wife treated this way. Oh, well, He stuttered a bit, then looked at the other Lao Shu. Whatever you say, Your Holiness. They reluctantly nodded in agreement, but I continued my tirade regardless. Don't you dare do something like this to the people here again. Fine. Didn't know saints could get so angry. Stop behaving like Christians and show some respect. Cool. With that, they walked over to the refectory and they suddenly stopped at the entrance. It looked like they were waiting for me. Good. I'm not caffeinated enough for today. Coffee. I could feel the tension in me ease, seeing them move away. Thank you, Pink. You're welcome. I'm sorry to put you in this situation, Elena. I hope they didn't scare you. I felt sad and bitter, seeing Elena and the kids so worried and confused. Why are you just standing there like a creep? You're an assassin. Take him out. Orlok squinted at me, as if he were looking at something bright. What the heck, boy? The men who were led to the refractory were having a party of some sorts. Memory cap. Dante Falzone. I was taking care of the paperwork when Nicholas suddenly appeared. Sophia called. She said she'll come at the usual time. Understood. I can only imagine what she's going through with everything happening at the church. So, how are you doing? Is there anything I can help you with? Do you mind grabbing that book? I pointed to the bookshelf, but immediately put my hand down. No, you're hurt. I'll get it myself. I'm fine, really. You worry too much. I'm practically in tip-top shape again. Nicholas smiled and reached out for the book. Huh? He dropped some books while grabbing the one I needed. He was definitely not in the best condition. I watched the books fall to the ground. My memory began to jog. Darkness and the sound of rain. The office floor painted in red. The books on the desk had fallen to the ground. A person wearing black. Dante? Can you hear me? Are you alright? You look pale. You'd better get some rest. I'll ask Sophia to come another day. No, I'm fine. If you say so, I won't fight you. Call me if you need anything. You know what I need? Chocolate. I can't reach it. Hold on, I'm muting you. The chocolate was out of reach. So I had to take the headphones off. Have some crinkle ASMR. That's weird. Have you ever had Kinder Buenos? That's what I have. They're so good. One of my favorite migraine tricks is combination of, sorry, I'm almost done. Combination of sweet and caffeine. There we go. Put my chocolate away. Sweet and caffeine and food. So chocolate's actually like the best thing for a migraine for me because it's got sweet and caffeine and food. So now that I'm just at like the tail end of it, this is kind of a perfect little treat for me. Okay. Chocolate. Call me if you need anything. Nicola was looking at me strangely, as he handed me the book I asked for. He then quietly left the office. It was raining that night. Boss, is there a problem? Light peeked out the open door from the office. Something was direly wrong. I burst into the office without Father's approval. Yeah, this is what I thought it was. Amidst the thunderstorm, darkness filled the room. The books that were piled on the desk were scattered across the floor. A dull blood-red eye and a hazel eye. A hand holding a dagger. Blood dripped from the blade as the person slowly pulled it out of Father's body. Why? You! I quickly drew my gun. The young man jumped out of the window. The roaring rain and darkness of the night cloaked his escape. Father! I ran to my father, wet in a pool of blood. He was still alive. Barely. Someone, call the doctor. Father's bloody hand grabbed mine firmly as I continued to yell for help. Dante. His powerful grip and strong eyes were defiant of someone on the verge of death. Father's last words. I couldn't believe I had forgotten all that happened. A dormant regret and hatred awoke in my heart. That man is the Foul Zone's enemy. I will get my revenge. Big reveal. Orlok killed Dante's dad. The men who were led to the refectory were having a party of sorts. I wasn't sure what they were laughing about, but it sounded like they were having fun. Are you alright? Yes, well, actually, no. Hearing Orlok's concern, I let out a deep sigh. Maybe it was because of the situation, but I couldn't help but complain. To be honest, I'm a bit tired. I wasn't happy at the idea of the Lao Shu guarding the church, so I was thinking of cutting back on how often I came here. But then, Yang's repentance led them to guarding the church regardless. Orlok shook his head quietly. It seemed he knew what I was trying to say. Whether you came or not wouldn't matter. They would have come here anyway. I suppose. Hearing Orlok having the same thought as me made me sigh again. There's no telling what they would do if left alone. It's troublesome, really. At the very least, it seems like they do have some respect towards you. They respect me? I tilted my head, thinking back at how I had been treated until now. Well, they did listen to me, no matter what, which was also why Orlok and I could come to the church every day. I don't think so. I doubt they sincerely respect me. Is something the matter, Orlok? For some reason, Orlok suddenly closed his mouth in silence. I'm not sure if I'm wording this correctly, but... Orlok looked at me intently, with shimmering eyes. You were really something back there. Stop flirting with me. Stop it. I don't like it. Huh? Oh. You mean when I helped Elena? Yes. Your little puppy act doesn't fool me. Murderer. Well, that was just in the heat of moment. Heat of the moment. Words. It wasn't anything at all. Actually, I'm quite embarrassed. No, you were really something. Really? Thank you. His confident affirmation was making me blush. Seeing me blush, Orlok looked at me with kind eyes. Great. The Lao Shu men kept drinking from morning to night at the refectory. Well, I suppose that isn't unusual here in Berlin. A lot of people find random excuses to drink and be merry here. Not that it's such a bad thing, but the problem was that they were at church. And I thought they came here to guard the area. They weren't acting as much of guards now. In fact, it looked like they were just having fun. Hey, you folks heading back already? We'll stay here and guard through the night. Please try to keep it down. Everyone goes to sleep early here. Yes, if you say so, little saint. I hope I remember that. Incompetent buffoons. The lot of them. This isn't going to end well. I let out a deep sigh. Oh my, Pink, it's been a while. It's been a while. I heard you're a holy person. God damn it. Huh? I should have known you were special. You've been such a nice girl ever since you were little. Could I please touch your hand? What? Oh, I'm not a holy person. I guess it was worth living so long to think I would meet a holy person in the flesh. I've always thought that Lao Shu were dangerous, but I suppose they must be nice folk to be protecting you like this. No, don't think that. Bad. They're bad people. The ladies looked at each other when suddenly... You got that right. The Lao Shu are protecting the church too, so you better be thankful. Grandma, I don't think you should be talking to her so casually. Shut up! Wait! I tried to stop them, but they continued to speak in their usual way. She's a special person who appeared in Bishop Rosberg's prophecy, a real saint to be. The ladies turned pale, being confronted by the two Lao Shu soldiers. Ain't that right, Pink? Ah! One of them wrapped their arm around my shoulder when... He's so grumpy. Yeah, at least they asked. Like, I've seen so many people just walk up to, like, I have female friends who've gotten pregnant, and people just walk up to them and touch them. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What is wrong with you? Like, who raised you? You don't just touch people like that. What the fuck? Suddenly, Orlok's dagger touched his bare neck. Don't you touch her. Yeah, she's a saint, right? Sorry, I got carried away there. The man slowly took his arm off me. Orlok continued to glare intensely at him, then slowly pulled back. He quickly put his dagger away. Although he appeared to be calm again, I could tell he was still quite irate. Well, now we really should be going. The ladies, trembling in fear, quickly turned around and left. Accusations. I mentioned to you before that the Lao Shu are on the church grounds for protection, but Sister Sophia's expression was dark as she spoke. The situation at the church is, how should I say this, getting worse. I don't see a sliver of faith in the hearts of the Lao Shu. At this rate, I fear what may befall her, as long as she is with the Lao Shu. Arca is supposed to be neutral ground. The main reason being is that the church is there, which means the Berlin Mafia will not turn a blind eye to what is happening there. But I need to avoid using drastic measures while she is with them. Noticing my hesitance, Nicholas spoke up. We have to make our move, Dante. How is your wound? I'm fine. I can move without a problem. No, you can't stop lying, sir. I see. The Lao Shu are openly saying that Bishop Rosberg is on their side. If so, we need to act now to avoid the public's opinion from swaying. Many who have come to the church have great faith in Bishop Rosberg, which is why many have begun to grow worried at what is happening now. Some are starting to trust the Lao Shu. No, 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 that's bad. We needed to act immediately. But whatever action we took, we would need to do something about that person. With Sister Sophia gone, I began taking apart my gun as usual. I checked and cleaned it more thoroughly today. I was doing all I could to suppress the rising anger and darkness inside of me. Now was not the time. He's gonna go crazy. He's gonna go crazy. Means. Gil? Gil time. Gilbert, we have an update on the church. The Lao Shu has practically taken over the church using the holy person as cover. Oliver! We love him. Don't boast. He's our best. At least 10 men are there throughout the entire day. Gotta say, I can't believe they're using her like this to squat at the church. They should know the church is off limits to all mafia families here. Exactly. Oliver frowned, reading the report. He paused a bit before continuing. The Lao Shu are also touting the prophecy Bishop Rosberg supposedly received. They are slowly taking over Arco with the Church of the Center. Ah. I forget that rats like to sneak into places and build nests. Gilbert. They are also good at hiding and moving in the shadows, which would explain why we still can't find solid proof of their infiltration. If Yang's good at anything, it's exploiting people. Not what you want to hear from an enemy. Well, I guess that's why he's the leader of the Lao Shu. This is no time to be praising him. The elders in Krita are pious enough to be worried about them. They began discussing whether or not to trust the Lao Shu now because of the Holy One. It also seems the younger generation is beginning to accept them as well. Kids from Krita? Yes, and I expect the Lao Shu to expand their influence with Bishop Rosberg on their side. The young are even talking about moving to the Veleno district. Again, not something I would wish to hear. Well, this doesn't bode well for the Visconti. We can't let them get away with spitting on the family's name. Mafia war time. And I don't even get to date one of the mafia. How rude. Coffee. They called me a holy person. What was going on? I was thoroughly confused by what they said. The Lao Shu were smiling oddly at me. Come on, we chat with the public too. So maybe we talked a wee bit about the holy woman from the prophecy. You should see the stuff we get when we say that to the people here. Hell, the drink we just had was given to us for protecting our dear saint. Everyone in town knows you now. Pretty good, huh, Your Holiness? Oh my god. The Lao Shu were rolling in laughter. I didn't know what to say. I do. Kick him. Why is this happening? But what they said about you is true. All that's happening is the truth is spreading. It's not the truth! You stupid boy. Wait a second, Orlok. You knew that the prophecy was being spread around town? Yeah? I'm gonna smack him. The rumors are not ideal, but there isn't much we can do about it anymore. Everyone in town is happy to know that there's a person in Bishop Rosberg's prophecy, and that the person in Bishop Rosberg's prophecy is here. And everyone believes this prophecy. Aside from non-believers, yes. Of course there were a lot of people who wouldn't believe what was being said. But most would believe it if they heard it came from Bishop Rosberg. Come to think of it, Elena seemed like she wanted to say something to me before. It must have been about this. At the very least, rumors are being spread about me without my knowledge. I held my head in my hands, thinking about what I had only now found out. What in the world is going to happen to me? The following day, I woke up much earlier than usual, deep in thought about all that had happened so far. Bishop Rosberg's prophecy foretold of one who would end the conflict in Berlin. Me, Pinker NeonNova. At least that was what Orlok said. The Foul Zone knew this, and marked me as their target. Orlok and the Lao Shu took me under their protection for my custody. That's as much as I know at the moment. When will it all end? If the prophecy is true, is it going to continue until the conflict in Berlin ends? When would that even happen? That also means that the church is going to be under the Lao Shu's watch until then. I was starting to feel dizzy at the thought. If I really am the one who will put an end to all the conflict, that must mean I'll need to make that happen. I need to do something to help the people here and at the church. After thinking about it for a while, very silent save. Oh God, who do I talk to? My heart says Yang. My self-preservation says Orlok. Orlok. Do you mind? I stopped Orlok after breakfast. Orlok looked at me with interest. Yeah, we need the Orlok path anyways. Yang could be a bad ending. We'll come back for him. What is it? Do you mind if we talk before going to the church? Sure. Orlok tilted his head in curiosity as we headed towards my room. You see, I wanted to discuss the Lao Shu. Given my expression, Orlok seemed to already know what I was going to say. I'm not surprised. Oh, that's not me. I'm not surprised. I have a problem with them as well. I felt relieved, hearing that he also didn't feel comfortable with the situation. It is difficult for our parishioners to go to the church now because of that. The children and even the sisters of the church are scared of that. I understand. I've noticed it too. But I've heard the Lao Shu telling people there that they were blessed by the prophecy. They even said that justice is on their side. What? I believe it's an expression of their faith. What do you mean? I think they're pleased that they can help His Excellency. I think you're being hoodwinked, my little guy. It seems they wish to spread the joy of the prophecy to everyone. Which is why I have turned a blind eye to the disturbances they were causing, but if they are a burden to you, then they must be punished. This might be the wrong route. Okay. From the looks of it, my opinion may not sit well with Orlok. I wasn't sure what he was going to say, but I mustered the courage to speak up. Orlok, do you really believe that they have faith? Well, yes. They've taken action because they believe in His Excellency's prophecy. Oh, you sweet summer child. I also think that they are treating you with as much respect as they're capable of. Okay. Orlok, that's very, not cool to say that. They're not animals. I see. Orlok looked at me with his pure eyes. I finally told him what I truly thought. To be honest, I don't think that the Lao Shu believes in the prophecy, or the church for that matter. It's likely they don't believe in God either. Orlok raised his eyebrows in surprise. I understand they aren't the most courteous people, but I doubt they are completely without faith in God and its existence. If that were true, then they wouldn't spread the word of His Excellency's prophecy. It simply can't be. No matter how evil a person is, learning of God's word should move them back to the right path. Oh, you're so dumb. I shook my head at his unadulterated words of purity. That may apply to most people here, but it doesn't apply to the Lao Shu. At least, not from what I've seen or heard. The Lao Shu doesn't appear to believe in a single word or teaching from the church. They're people from a different culture who don't believe in God. I'm not calling them heathens. There's some irony. Who said that? Most of the Lao Shu were from elsewhere. I wasn't surprised they didn't share our faith. That can't be right. Could such people exist? Yeah, they're from a different culture. Cultures all over the world don't believe in things you believe. Orlok must have been raised with the teachings of the church since he was little. Child, are you snoring? White people came from Europe? That can't be right. If so, hearing something so unheard of must come as a surprise to him. Yang said that he's offering protection to maintain peace here, but it only looks like he's using that as an excuse to gain power. This is the route where we're girl bossing. I remember. Girl boss. Girl boss. Sorry about that. Finally, femme power. Orlok's expression suddenly became serious. No dying on stream, it's against toss. It's not dying, it's just cold and flu season. And I am fighting for my life here to not get any sicker than my regular amounts of sick. Orlok's expression suddenly became serious. He slowly began to speak. I suppose you're right. Yeah, I'm right. I should contact His Excellency and ask for his guidance. Come to think of it, we didn't obtain approval to speak of the prophecy. Yes, and the Laoshu made it public first. The prophecy was disclosed in the middle of town so that everyone could hear. It was then that they said they were involved in Bishop Rosberg's prophecy. I need to let His Excellency know. What have I been doing? Only now I remember that I was told not to trust the Laoshu. Oh, sweetie. You've been hoodwinked. It's okay, Yang is beautiful. He gets us all. Orlok did try to stop Li back when he spoke loudly of the oracle in public. Really, Orlok, only now? Listen, Yang is very charming. When he wants to be. He will seduce us all. But that was smoothed over by Yang's apology and offer to guard the church grounds. Enigma. Yang. Well, this is unexpected. I would have appreciated knowing you were coming. The twink! Now, why so bothered? I came here today just for you. What do you mean? I heard an unusual rumor. The person in front of me smiled. His name was Emilio. He was a high-ranking priest at the church. But little else was known about him. All I knew was that his clan had been in the church for 8 generations. So I heard you have formed a friendship with the Berlone Mafia. The Mafia? Wait. Oh, am I mistaken? I thought a certain syndicate was guarding a girl for you. Emilio, don't tell me you actually believe in such rumors. Well, I'm glad to hear it's not the case. Sorry to have bothered you. He smiled and left the room. The Laoshu must be up to something. They didn't bring up my name, did they? Oh, not at all. Not one bit did they bring up your name. I haven't heard anything back from them. Maybe he couldn't handle Yang. Her value would be lost if things weren't controlled. Stop talking about me losing my value. I'll never lose my value, sir. I need to take action. This may be worse than I thought. We hadn't fully realized what had happened. I felt fear inside me starting to take hold. A day passed since Orlok and I spoke of the Laoshu. We headed out to the church as usual. And after a normal day, we headed back to the Laoshu's base before sunset. Recently, people have been visiting the church to see the holy person from the prophecy. In other words, people were coming to see me. I tried telling them I wasn't special, but everyone, especially the elderly, simply brushed it off as modesty. The Laoshu must be adept at spreading rumors, as everyone seemed to know now. People were blindly accepting the rumor as fact and believed I really was a saint. I felt uneasy being touted as someone holy when that wasn't the case at all. Their excitement in seeing me felt strange. With all that was going on, Orlok always told me, I'm proud of who you are. Of course, the prophecy spreading this way isn't ideal, but it's good to know that everyone can see what a wonderful person you are. He wasn't happy that it spread in the first place, but he didn't seem too concerned now. Orlok must be pure to his very core. A pure murderer. Whew. Orlok looked at me worriedly, seeing that I gave a deep sigh. Even though we thought differently, we were both troubled by the situation. I wonder if things will get better if he gets in touch with Bishop Rosberg. I suppose I should wait until then, but the guards stationed at the church were getting rowdier by the day. What's eating you, little saint? Let's go. We'll get you right home. We were walking through Arca. Suddenly, I noticed the sun extending long shadows in front of me. Huh? I looked to see where the shadows were from. In front of me was Dante, Signor Falzone. Hi, babe. This isn't your route. Stop looking so handsome. The Falzone family boss was in front of me, along with his men. Why are they here? Whatever the reason, their presence in Arca like this didn't bode well. I suddenly recalled the day when the Falzone attacked the Laoshu. That's strange. I don't see Signor Francesca around. Had his wound not healed yet since his encounter with Orlok? Stand back. Orlok moved in front of me to protect me from the threat. Dante was quietly looking at us. Wait, he's not looking at the both of us. I finally noticed. Dante was not glaring at us, but rather at Orlok alone. What the hell does the big boss want with us? The Laoshu's words fell on deaf ears. Dante began to speak. As a man of honor, I can't allow the Laoshu to use this church as a shield. By defiling these grounds, all you're doing is bringing deep fear to the people. Oh, he's such a good boy. We love him. How dare he? How dare he? Ugh. We're stretching. I was slumped down pretty far, chat. Moreover, Dante's glare sharpened even more as his eyes were locked on Orlok's. As a foul zone, I will see your removal myself. Dante's eyes were cold and filled with rage. I could hear it in his low voice. Please, wait, Signor Falzone. Dante reacted to my voice and turned his eyes towards me. I mustered the strength to speak up against his cold stare. What do you mean by removal? The Falzone family were the ones who struck the Laoshu first. Orlok was simply guarding the... It isn't that simple. Huh? Then why are you... I owe you no explanation. This concerns the Falzone alone. Excuse you? Your duty is to me and to protect me. I know this, sir. He coldly cut me off. It seemed nothing I could say would get through. Orlok? Orlok shook his head without a single word. He then quickly brandished his dagger and prepared to face Dante. He's too much for you all to handle. Stand down. Dante gave his orders for his men to stay back. So I guess we gotta fight, eh? One idiot coming out here like this. Gonna get a raise after I kill ya. You're not gonna kill Dante. You wish you were that good. I'm cold. I'm gonna put my sweater on. Do you fools seriously think you can harm our boss? If you really want to fight, we'll take you on. Come and get us. Haha, now we're talking. Both sides were ready to fight. Orlok looked at me and began speaking in a calm tone. His target is me. It's highly unlikely that the Falzone will harm you. Of course, I have no reason to harm her. We're here for you and the Laoshu. Bisexual when both sides fight every... Wait, that's not right. There are two wolves inside of you. One howling for women. One howling for men. One howling for Everyone. Wait, that's 3 rolls. I can't count. Please stand aside. I don't want to see them fight. If only the conflict would end without anyone getting hurt, but I was born a citizen of Berlin. That's how I knew it wasn't an option, especially with Dante here in person. Please, be careful. Orlok smiled at my concern, even though I was powerless to do much else. I moved away from them as Dante slowly pointed his gun at Orlok. Gunfire resounded through Arca. Rat trap! Nicola Francesca. They're attacking us out here? What the hell is going on? Hell if I know. Come on. We gotta find some people here to take hostage. That'll keep them at bay. Wait, where is everyone? What the hell? They're usually right here. Looks like this is checkmate. Nicola! You're doing something good. We pushed back the Laoshu soldiers to the refectory. I called Sister Sophia to have everyone evacuated before the battle. I couldn't allow anyone here to fall hostage to them. We'll exterminate you one by one. Who wants to die first? Leo and the soldiers pointed their weapons at the Laoshu. Damn it! The Laoshu bit his lip and tried to draw his gun. Ah! I took him down, but the shot sent a jolt through the wound inflicted by Orlok. I can't let my pain stop me from moving. Leave it to me. I'll cover you. Leo, best boy. Such a handsome little boy. Such a little cutie pie. Grazie, Leo. I knew I could count on you. As I gave my thanks to Leo, I pointed my gun at the next target. One by one, they fell. The smell of blood filled the refectory. Lifeless bodies were strewn across the floor. I think they can handle things here. The only target left is Orlok. He was dependable as an informant, but I didn't expect him to be so formidable. I'm sure Dante can handle him. I'm sure he'll be fine. Something didn't feel right. Leo, I'm going to leave this place to you. I'm going out to help the others. Understood. Please be careful, Nicola. If anything happens to Leo, we're quitting the game. I legitimately don't remember if anything happens to Leo. If anything happens to Leo, we're quitting the game. Look at his angel face. Look at it. Cole, look at it. If anything happens to Leo, we're quitting the game. After hearing Leo's reply, I quickly turned around and sprinted out of the refectory. This isn't good. My bad premonitions usually come true. What are you, psychic now? Gunfire resounded throughout Arca. Thunderous sound hailed at the beginning of the battle between Orlok and the Foul Zone. Orlok and Dante's fight triggered an outbreak amongst others. Shouts and gunfire filled the air. The area had been completely taken over by violence. Amidst the clamor, Dante stayed behind cover, targeted Orlok from a distance. His men were surrounding him so that Orlok couldn't get close. But Orlok moved swiftly and easily, dodging the bullets aimed for him. He's better trained than I expected. Dante fired his last shot, then quickly reloaded his gun. Normal humans wouldn't be able to dodge incoming bullets like that. But Orlok had proven that he was more than capable of doing so. Please, don't get hurt. I wanted to shut my eyes and cover my ears against the violence in front of me. But knowing that my involvement had led to this battle kept me from doing so. Girl, your involvement did not lead to this. The bishop made this happen. The bishop fucked around and everyone else is finding out. We did nothing wrong. We were just a sweet little girl. I shook with fear and tried my best to keep my eyes open. Take this. Dante fired his gun. The bullet hit Orlok's hood. Don't be so sure you can outrun me. All I need to do is read your next move. Is that all? I haven't shed a single drop of blood yet. Indeed. If that's your wish, I will oblige. Orlok gauged his distance from Dante amidst the rain of bullets. If only you didn't exist, the Falzone would be. Dante yelled at Orlok with a burning hatred in his eyes. Orlok? Orlok was looking at Dante with a trace of remorse in his expression. At the very least, he didn't look like someone engaged in the midst of a battle. I'm not sure why, but what Dante just said is worrying. Is he implying that Orlok was involved with the Falzone somehow? The Falzone family no longer has the right to protect Berlone. How dare you say that to me? Dante Falzone. Dante's rage swelled the moment he heard Orlok's words. He was so angry that it looked like his aim was becoming shaky. Naive. Orlok saw an opening and quickly closed the distance, swinging his dagger. Dante barely parried the blade, using the butt of his gun. The butt. Orlok is at a huge advantage now that he is within striking range. Ah? Even I could tell that the tides had turned in Orlok's favor. Dante tried to kick him away, but Orlok simply shifted to one side. Orlok lowered his blade down onto Dante, which grazed his skin. It looks like Orlok has the advantage, but I wasn't sure why, but it felt like he was confused right now. What's going on? Orlok took a deep breath, then jumped back to create distance. Dante, Falzone. In order to protect her, I need you out of the picture. What? I'll have to kill you, too. The air rustled. Orlok positioned his knife. I could tell he was prepared to kill. It took too long for you to be ready. Ready to be killed. Too slow. Dante fired his gun, but Orlok was already gone from where he stood. He extended his extended his dagger out in front of him, but Dante jumped back before it hit. It felt like this was never going to end. But then... Muppet mouth today. But then... Orlok kicked the ground hard. He leaped fearlessly towards Dante, whose gun was pointed at him. The dagger gleamed for a moment. I wasn't able to bear the sight any longer. I shut my eyes tightly. I didn't need to know what happened. I didn't need to see to know what happened. The dagger pierced deep into Dante's skin and... Wait. Something wasn't right. Why? Why are you... It's not Dante! It's not Dante! What? I slowly opened my eyes after hearing blood being choked up. The first thing I saw was Dante holding a silhouette in his arms. His clothes were covered in blood. The smell of bloody rust filled the air. Slowly, I began to comprehend what happened. He jumped in front of Dante to protect him. Nicola, Francesca. Do you remember how much we literally hated Nicola Francesca last route? Yeah, oh, it's just Nicola. Okay. When he's not actively opposing me, he does really awesome things that just make me sad. Orlok's voice shook as he spoke his name. Damn it. Nicola. What a sight. There goes your underboss. Shut up! Shut up, you stupid Lao Shu. Member C. How dare you? The Falzone family exploded in rage at the Lao Shu's jeers. Dante, are you all right? Yeah. I see. Good. His wound is too deep. Berlone had its share of rivalries. Strano, in particular, was rife with violence. I had been there so many times to help those injured and in need, which is why I knew he's not going to make it. Orlok quickly removed himself from the area and came towards me. Now's our chance. Orlok extended his arm to me, turning his back to the ensuing gunfire. The concept of taking someone's life struck me hard at seeing Orlok's bloody hand. I froze in position, unable to take the hand he offered out to me. Orlok looked at me. His eyes betrayed a sense of regret. But he forced himself to grab my hand and set off running. I tried to keep up to him somewhat hesitantly. I kept turning back, worried about what was happening behind me. Dante was glaring at us, yelling at the top of his lungs, with Nicola in his arms. After them, now! His anger and sorrow could be heard from where we were. I won't let you die. Who's going to support the family? Who's going to support me? No. Now I'm sad. What the hell, game? And weirdly enough, I'm still not sure if I'm on the good route or not. It doesn't feel like it, but it could be. Anyways, I need to take a break. Let's do this. The sun set as we continue to run through the back alleys. Well, thank you, Cole. In the midst of my desperate running, my emotions had gone to a dull throb. Wait a second. Let me check first. I'm still eepy-seepy. Orlok moved towards the street to see if it was clear. He quickly returned to me. Let's go another way. This way to Valeno is blocked. They have us surrounded. Dante was waiting for us, so I think he positioned his men here from the beginning. That way, we wouldn't be able to make our escape if something happened. We'll head back the long way, through Arca. Seeing the anxiety on my face, Orlok did his best to reassure me. Things will only get worse if we stay here. Yes, I suppose so. Let's go. The Phazone won't be able to chase us once we reach Valeno. We did our best and took the shadows as we headed back where we came from. We worked our way through the narrow alley when... There, I found them. This is for Nicola. Ah! I screamed, hearing the bullets strike the wall near me. I can't believe they're shooting with you around. They're not sane, that's for sure. And it's all my fault. Orlok expressed his regret, then reached out to me. Orlok? I'm sorry. This is faster. Ah! As I was wondering what he meant, he suddenly picked me up in his arms. Keep your mouth closed so you don't bite your tongue. I'll protect you no matter what. After Orlok mumbled those words, he suddenly sprinted off towards the street. Ah! He told me to keep my mouth closed, but I couldn't keep my voice from escaping me. We're going to leave the alley? There should be a lot of people near the casino area, so we'll hide in the crowd. I can't keep holding you like this out there, so I need you to walk once we're out. Welcome back, Matrim. Our assassin killed a guy. I see. I was worried that it was too open out there, but his plan did make sense. I doubt the Falzone will risk the lives of the people out there. Nobody important, though. Yeah, we hate Nicola, so it's okay that he died. I got myself out of his arms to stand up when... Huh? The Falzone soldiers that came after us began to shoot. Ah! The crowd immediately flew into a panic the moment the tourists screamed. You know what that means? That means it's time for more coffee. Now I have a pumpkin spice frappuccino. What? A shooting? The Falzone. Is this what they've become? Orlok carried me again, mumbled words of exasperation. This can't be happening. Meanwhile, commotion. Gilbert! Looks like the deal is... Before I could finish, I heard gunshots outside. The chaos grew so loud that I could hear it all happening clearly. What the? Gunfire? They didn't find us, did they? Calm down. All business done with the Visconti is safe and secure. I tried to calm the man. I tried to calm the man to try and finish our business. I can read. Oh my god, what is wrong with me? Gunfire continued outside. The man went pale and quickly stood up. I thought things would be good in the hands with the Visconti. I'm leaving. The deal's off. The man hurriedly grabbed his suitcase and quickly hurried out of the room. There goes our biggest deal yet. That's really gonna hurt us. Quite a predicament, isn't it, Senor Redford? Hello, Director. Being shady again? You do know this is your fault because of your inadequate security. What the hell is happening outside? What's that gunfire all about? Well, an irregularity has occurred that was beyond our control. Irregularity? You see, the Falzone family has lost their friggin' mind. This can't be happening. The street I once knew was filled with a screaming chaos resembling hell itself. Ah! I couldn't breathe well. May they be safe. All I could do was pray for the people left behind as Orlok sped on. Why? Why is this all? Unable to handle the fear, I closed my eyes and covered my ears with shaking hands. How much time had passed? I couldn't hear the gunfire or the voices of our pursuers anymore. We somehow made our escape and finally arrived in Valeno. I asked Orlok to let me down, but he wasn't listening to me. He carried me back into my room and slowly lowered me onto the bed. Thank you, Orlok. I only did what I was tasked with. Thinking about what happened was making me sick. It happened right in front of my eyes. I couldn't believe how quickly and easily someone could die. Even if I acknowledged it, what happened today was too much for me to handle. Orlok was watching me worriedly, seeing me fall silent. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't kill Dante. That's not what we're worried about here, sir. I really needed to kill him there when I had the chance. You would have been much safer with Dante out of the picture. Orlok was truly regretting it and repenting from the bottom of his heart. That was apparent to me, but please, I don't want you to kill anymore. Huh? You don't need to apologize for not being able to kill him. Not one bit. Orlok blinked repeatedly. It appeared he was quite confused. You don't want me to kill anyone? Even if I'm on the verge of death? Well, I need to kill anyone that may prove to be a threat to you. Orlok. I don't fully understand why you said that to me, but I want to do what you desire to the best of my abilities. Orlok closed his eyes, then apologized to me again. I know you must have been scared back there. For that, I'm very sorry. I put you in danger, despite knowing that you're not one to fight. I thought I was more than enough to protect you. I can't imagine the fear you felt when they began shooting at us. It was beyond scary, but the image of Signor Francesca, stabbed and bleeding, crossed my mind. Next came the memory of people running in fear. I could recall what happened vividly, which made it hard for me to breathe. I saw someone's life about to be taken. That was much scarier than being in danger myself. Orlok didn't say a word. It looked like he was thinking about something. After a brief pause, he looked up at me and spoke. Is the concept of someone being hurt something you dislike? Yes. Because I'm a normal human being with normal emotions. My little murderer friend. I don't want to get hurt, but I also don't want others to get hurt either. And I also don't want to see you hurting others. Me? He had a bewildered look on his face. Seeing his expression made me realize something that had been bothering me for a while. Both Orlok and I think differently in terms of what life is. We were both followers of the church, yet our beliefs were starkly different. I despaired at realizing it, and knowing that it may be hard for him to see things my way. Even so, I want Orlok to understand me better. Orlok? One other thing came to mind. It seemed like Dante was strangely focused on you today. Is there something going on between you two? Is there? As a Falzone, I will see to your removal myself. If only you didn't exist, the Falzone would be. He seemed to imply that there was something that had happened before the attack on the Lao Shu. Well, I'm not exactly sure, but it could be. Orlok suddenly closed his mouth. He seemed hesitant to finish his sentence. He shook his head a bit, then opened his mouth again to continue. It's because I got you before the Falzone did. Don't lie to me! Cole, why do all these men lie to me? Every single one of them. Only Yang didn't. What the hell? Why is it only that the most murderous of these men didn't lie to me? Yang's not normal. I know he's not. And that's why we love him the most. They could be angry because in doing so, I tarnished the family name. Family name. That did seem to make sense. No, it doesn't! They put honor first and foremost in their lives. The Falzone are misleading themselves. They believe that they are the guardians of Berlone. That sounded odd. With the Mafia being guardians? Or maybe that was simply Orlok's way of explaining things. Which is why they likely wanted under custody the person from His Excellency's prophecy. Or maybe they wanted to get rid of you, so they targeted me first. If the Falzone family seriously thinks that Orlok and I defiled their family name, they will probably continue hunting us with all their might. I need to speak with Yang about what happened today. Meanwhile, Wish. Nicola Francesca. It feels almost like I'm sinking in mud. I can't open my eyes. I felt pain in my chest as I regained consciousness. Hey, he's not dead! I squirmed, trying to find a position that would make the pain go away, but my body wouldn't move. I couldn't seem to wake myself up, or even move my fingers. Somehow I got my eyes to open, but everything was so blurry. I guess I'm going to die. I only now realized what was happening. Hmm? I felt like someone was nearby. I tried my best to focus through the pain. I see. Dante. Dante was looking at me with an expression on his face I'd never seen before. It almost looked as if he was going to cry. The last time I saw Dante cry was when his father passed away. I wonder if he'll cry for me too. I did my best to lift my right hand. Nicola. Oh God. Don't be so cute. Stop it. Dante spoke my name. I took his hand tightly with whatever remaining strength I had. With my death, Dante has to protect our family all by himself. Nicola, you're not allowed to die, okay? This little ice prince is gonna go on a goddamn rampage if you do. The last thing I wanted was for Dante to carry such a burden alone, but there's no other option. There's only one thing I can leave behind for Dante now. I hope that Dante wouldn't break after my departure. He's gonna! I spoke my last words to him. Dante. You're the thousandth boss. I'll always be with you. Dante was looking straight at me. I swear, I will kill him no matter what. Oh God. Now I really need Nicola not to die. Because I think if Nicola dies, that locks me into a bad end. I squinted as I let out my last breath. I wished that he would stay strong. Please, even if I'm gone, please survive this cruel world. The pain began to subside. My strength slowly ebbed. I slowly, ever so slowly, closed my eyes. Oh no. We're not doing so hot. We can see him after you've calmed down. Okay. Pushing down my heavy feelings, I reluctantly nodded back. Oh my God, we're only on chapter 4. I hate this game. With this game, I mean this route. People were already sitting at the tables by the time we arrived. Hi, baby. What you doing? What kind of noise was that? Okay. Do you have a hairball? Are you good? Yeah? Okay. Sorry, my cat's making a funny noise. I just need to pay attention to her for a second. She seems good though, so we're good to go. Alright. People were already sitting at tables by the time we arrived. Aside from Yang, the other Lao Shu men were there too. Yang, I have a report for you. Yang narrowed his eyes and tilted his head in anticipation. What is it? We were attacked by the Foul Zone on our way back from the church today. It seems as though the Foul Zone are getting restless in their plans to abduct her. I see. Well, I would say they are likely to strike my men at the church again. So I've sent more of them as reinforcement. Fighting at the church? I clasped my hands together in prayer, hearing the dreadful news. Please, be safe. And you're not hurt, are you? Yang wasn't looking at Orlok. He was looking at me now. I was surprised to hear him ask such a question. I'm fine. Orlok did his best to protect me from harm. I see. That's a relief to hear. After all, you are their target. But thinking back on what Dante said, it seemed like he was after Orlok, not me. I decided not to say that to Yang. I still don't trust Yang. If I say anything to him, it could put Orlok at a disadvantage. Maybe my concern towards Orlok was unwarranted. But I knew Orlok was doing his very best to try and protect me. There was no way I could do anything to put him in a predicament. I also killed the Foul Zone family's underboss, Nicola Francesca. Oh, look at his smile. Yang grinned widely with interest. What? Francesca? Wonderful. This is a time to celebrate. You're really something, Orlok. Guess I underestimated you. The twins continued praising Orlok, who wasn't showing any expression. To be specific, I did not witness Nicola Francesca's death myself. But I can confirm that his wound was fatal. Only a miracle could save him from death. Orlok coldly stated the facts without a change in tone. God will not offer protection to the Foul Zone. Whoever ruled this town with greed. Thus, no miracle shall be granted. Ah, that is quite the achievement. Of course, there is no greater achievement than killing Foul Zone himself, but Francesca was a formidable threat indeed. I am certain she's safer now more than ever. Though Yang praised him, Orlok remained silent and expressionless. Unbelievable. Yang is praising him with a smile for killing someone? Of course he is. Look at this man. He's the embodiment of chaos and murder. And I love him for it. That was a good report. Now then, a word from me. What? I could feel my expression turn grim. With what happened with his guards at the church, I doubted he could say anything good. I have the perfect plan, especially since the Foul Zone is so fixated on you. Yang's lifeless eyes looked at me. As the living saint of prophecy, simply show the people of Berlone a new path. A new path? Defeat the Foul Zone family and return the town to the rightful hands of its people. What? What Yang was saying was to rile up the citizen to take up arms against the Falzone. I'm sure the people will believe you if you proclaim that it's God's will. Unlike Yang, I frowned. You want me to tell the people to fight? That is a terrible way of wording it. I'm simply asking that you be a messenger of peace. There was no way I would do what he said. But I was also worried about what Yang would do if I refused. There's no telling how he'll react to things. React if things don't go his way. But I can't accept this order. I looked right at him with resolve. I can't do that. It's because I can't deceive the people, even if I were the person from the prophecy. A holy person wouldn't tell them to fight for a prophecy she didn't receive herself. Bishop Rossberg wasn't told to use such violent means, was he? Orlok nodded, hearing my words. It seemed he agreed with what I was saying. She's right. She won't do it, and I won't let her do it either. Orlok was clearly on my side. I felt a rush of relief. It's very likely that His Excellency or our Holy One will receive a new prophecy. We can't fabricate the word of God, and using God's name in vain is not allowed. I see. Understood. Yang's just gonna say it anyways, because he do be like that sometimes. He must have expected us to refuse. He calmly accepted my reasoning. In that case, let me rescind what I said. Why not evangelize with Bishop Rossberg's prophecy? He mentioned that the golden-haired girl at the church would bring an end to the conflict. Share his words with the people of Berlin that you will end the fighting once and for all. This is what was prophesied, was it not? I recalled the prophecy I was told back when Orlok abducted me. Yes, he heard God's voice. I was also told that a girl with golden hair at the church would put an end to this evil. That the person would be able to stop the warring amongst the mafia families. If the prophecy is true, then those who attacked our living saint here, the Falzone, will need to be stopped. The people have the right to know that. But Yang was twisting words to try and turn things his way. As he do. We wouldn't be lying to people since what you said is true. Orlok, stop listening to him. Berlin doesn't belong to the Falzone family. I can see God wanting them gone, but I can't accept that. Oh. To start, His Excellency hasn't given orders to have the prophecy go public. Furthermore, it's too dangerous for her to try and incite a revolution. The Falzone wouldn't let her go, especially if she becomes the instigator of their demise. Dante mentioned that he has no reason to harm me. But after what happened today, I felt a shiver run down my spine. There was no telling what would happen now. In fact, his men fired at me right after Nicola Francesca fell. I can't let someone as sacred and precious as she is stand in the line of danger. Orlok's countenance was severe as he denounced Yang's suggestion. After all, it's the Laoshu's fault that she's become known to the people. If anything, we should hide her from the public. Hide? You won't let her go to church? Poor thing. It's your fault, Yang. It's your fault. It's your fault. You're being bad, sir. Water. It's wet. Yang spoke words of pity to me, but his smile said otherwise. If it will ensure her safety. His Excellency desires the end to the conflict. He also desires her safety. Yang narrowed his eyes in glee. Seeing that we could not be persuaded, he came from a different angle. Now what if God doesn't desire what Bishop Rosberg desires? What does he mean? He said that she can't leave Berlin yet. No. What does he mean by that? He wants her to stay here, in danger? His prophecy said she shouldn't leave this town yet, which means that God wants her to die here in the name of peace. What? A pure maiden dying for the sake of us all will certainly move everyone to do something about the situation here. Yang, you just want to run me through. That's all. You can just say it. You've done it enough times. I know this song and pony dance, sir. All saints have died for the greater good. So your God may wish for her to stay here in a similar manner. Yang was out of his mind, but what he said was not inconsistent with the church's teachings. Orlok could not hide his irritation. You seem very familiar with the history of the church. I didn't expect that from you. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. I'm sure you've heard that before. He's a lot more educated than I thought. Okay, that's just rude, protagonist. But it takes years to canonize someone as a saint. A person's life cannot be judged so easily. Yang shrugged at Orlok's somewhat irrelevant words. To think I spent all that time thinking of a perfect scenario. You need to be a bit more accepting. But no, I can't accept what you said. Very well. Let me try something else. Unexpectedly, he pulled me towards him. Yang, what are you? Don't move, Orlok. I can break her neck very easily. See? Yeah, this is, yeah. It's what Yang wants to do. He just wants to hurt me. Yang had his hand around my neck. I shook in fear, sensing the seriousness of his grip. The god-forsaken leader of the Lao Shu kills the girl told of in the prophecy. What would the faithful in this town do? I thought the people here think we're the good ones chosen by God and stuff. Yeah, and she's with us too. Since the Foul Zone attacked us, maybe they'll be mad at them. If the saint is killed, the people will turn on the Lao Shu. Correct? They will despise us and pray for God to smite our family. And you will become a maiden of tragedy. You will be spoken about. You will be spoken of as a legend. The people will seek faith as salvation. It will be easy for Bishop Rosberg to make up a story to take control of this town. Story? Yang's words took Orlok by surprise. He began to shake. What are you saying? His Excellency will take control? It's very easy to deceive people using God as a front. For example, with a prophecy. Ugh, Yang's dropping the truth. We love it. Identifying a clear enemy will also focus their attention effectively. If it helps, I'm more than happy to play the role of Bishop Rosberg's enemy. You just want to hurt me. You don't care about playing a role or doing it for the betterment of the town. You're just trying to get your rocks off, sir. And I will have no part in it this route. I don't understand what you mean. Nothing you're saying makes sense. Orlok was clearly upset. He looked like a confused child. His Excellency would never deceive others. There isn't any reason for Yang to become the enemy. His words make no sense. Don't confuse the poor child, sir. Just because you're kinky and weird. Yang wasn't flinching a bit as he watched the exasperated Orlok mutter to himself. It doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. The stronger the enemy, the better. Be it the Foul Zone, Rosberg, or the Church. I'm more than happy enough to become everyone's enemy. Even yours, Orlok. Thoughts? Do keep in mind that I'm testing you. He's truly mad. And we love that look on him. I couldn't comprehend what was going through his mind. His grip didn't loosen a single bit. If what he said was true, then he may be serious about killing me. He is. What should I do? Are we gonna have fun tonight? We are. Run. I couldn't bear listening to the conversation like this. Orlok can save me if I find a way to make an opening. Let me go! I wriggled with all my might to try and free myself from Yang's grip. Be quiet. Ah! He sounded annoyed, but suddenly I could feel his grip loosen. I hurriedly ran towards Orlok so that... Huh? I felt something strike me from behind. Sorry I had to kill you. We are Yang's arms and legs. We'll kill anyone Yang wants dead. I couldn't move anymore. I crumpled to the ground. Foolish girl. I heard Yang's voice end. My life came to an end. That was fun. A bad ending. Playing around with Yang is like playing with fire. Rip. What should I do? Be compliant. Jesus Christ. Yang is dead serious. Depending on what we say, he'll probably kill me right here and now. I'd better not fight him for now. Even if I wanted to, I was too frightened to move. Sometimes you get toast, sometimes you get toasted. I want toast. Toast is so good. Like, peanut butter toast, the best. I sense Yang smiling behind me. So obedient, wise, but terribly uninteresting. Oh, he sounds like he's crying. Orlok, grow a spine. It seemed like Orlok couldn't make his move either. I need to say something. If I don't, he may kill me outright. His first suggestion was to deceive people. The other was to kill me. Maybe I can suggest something else, but what? After some thought, I'm not obeying Yang. He's just gonna kill me again. I don't want to be used. I want you to hear me out. Fine. What does our saint have to say? He joyfully replied in a playful tone. I calmed myself and took a breath. I don't want to be used by you. I also don't want to deceive the people. I still can't fathom how I could possibly be this holy person everyone thinks I am. So there is no way I can convince others to listen to me on false authority. Oh, that's unexpected. I love this voice actor. He's so good. Yang's smile widened. It seemed like I had his attention. You were raised at the church and spent all your days with Orlok. So I thought you believed in Rosberg's prophecy. I tried my best to steady my trembling voice. My being with Orlok has nothing to do with the prophecy. It's just that he's the person I trust the most now. That makes sense. None of us are good people. You are correct, Faye. Especially Yang. Never trust him. You were correct, Lan. Shut up. She's still speaking. I hesitantly continued. I don't want to die, but I haven't done anything worthy of becoming a saint. I am a normal person, not a legend, which is why I'm scared of dying. I took a deep breath after expressing my honest feelings. I see. I heard Yang chuckling near me. Then he removed his hand from my neck. Ah! Pink, are you all right? Orlok quickly came to me and held me up by the shoulders. Yes, I'm fine. I couldn't get myself to stand straight. My legs were shaking with fear. That's not all they're shaking with, baby. I love Yang. I can't help it. Orlok supported me firmly so I wouldn't fall to my knees. Yang, next time you shouldn't treat her so violently. Yes, Cole? Listen. If this is because every time Yang's on screen, he's basically like, looks at your other love interest and is like, she won't even remember your name. You won't even remember his name. I can't help it, okay? He's Mr. Steal Your Girl, even when he's actively trying to murder me, okay? I can't help it. He brings out something feral in me. Orla glared intensely at Yang. But it didn't seem to faze him. I understand what you said, but the Laoshu have no reason to follow your desires. We will make our own decisions. I trust you two will stay put for your own good. Let's go. Orlok glared at Yang again. Okay. With Orlok helping me walk straight, we somehow made it out alive. Intimidate. Your threat sure worked on him good. Threats? What threat? Huh? Well, huh? Wait, seriously? The smiles from the men were wiped clear from their faces. I gave them an opportunity. I gave them their opportunity. Now, if only they'll entertain me. Yang is a demon in disguise. And in bed, too. Okay. Orlok was very tense. His guard was still up after our encounter with Yang. His lack of faith has been proven by his brazen words and actions. He doesn't believe in God's blessing, or even in God himself. Right. He was serious back there. I was sure Yang would have killed me if I hadn't reacted how he wanted me to. Yes, he was ready to kill you. I'm relieved you responded in such a calm manner. Yeah, one of us didn't piss our pants, Orlok. Nope, we're not going to say the second thought I had. Just the thought of my life at stake was giving me chills. Yang doesn't care whether he's cursed or whether or not the Lao Shu exists. Perhaps he doesn't care much about his life either. At least, it seems that way. Pink, did I say something wrong? Well, no. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm remembering what happened and it's scaring me. Oh. How could I forget what happened? I felt Yang's fingers wrap around my neck, fear descending upon me, realizing how close I was to death. I'm sorry. I was in the wrong. Orlok hurriedly held my hand with both of his and squeezed it tightly. Orlok? I've stayed with the Lao Shu only because His Excellency ordered me to do so. He's not aware of who Yang really is. I doubt His Excellency could even imagine a person like him in the world. With a strong resolve in his eyes, Orlok spoke to me boldly. Pink, let's leave. Now. Huh? I can't have you near Yang anymore. He's gonna steal your attention away from me because I'm a sweet boy and you want someone spicy. I can feel it radiating off of you. I'd love to leave if I can, but the Lao Shu will come after us. The Falzone family is looking for us too. Don't worry. I will protect you and find an escape for you no matter what. Orlok. His words came from the bottom of his heart. I knew it wasn't all talk. He had more than enough power to make that happen. His previous battles had proven that. But, nope, wrong voice. But, seeing that I wasn't responding, Orlok hesitantly began to speak. Of course, it's not that I wish to bring harm upon anyone. I know you don't like it. I know you don't like that. God wouldn't approve of it either. If there's a way to find a resolution without harming anyone, that would be best. Orlok's strength was very reassuring, but relying on him meant that he would have to fight again. I want to avoid as much conflict as possible. In any case, I didn't want to remain here any longer. Orlok must have sensed what was going through my mind. We should act quickly while the moon is still hidden in the clouds. I'll come to get you later. So please get yourself ready to leave. Okay. I nodded in agreement. I could feel my heart beating rapidly. It was late at night. We made our escape surprisingly easily from the Laoshu headquarters. Orlok led me through the silent Veleno streets. I don't think they've noticed us gone yet, but to be safe, let's go through the alleys. Okay. Something didn't feel right. I turned around to look back at the Laoshu headquarters. It's fine. I don't sense anyone following us. No one is hiding or anything. There really is no one around. Perhaps because it was late at night. Come to think of it, we hadn't necessarily been watched constantly before. Even so, it was too quiet. I didn't hear a single soul around. I know what you're thinking. This has been progressing too easily, right? Especially after what happened earlier. This situation is indeed unnatural. To be honest, I was surprised to see that no one was guarding your room after we were told to stay put. Results. There he is. I suppose I should meet them. With everything in motion, I'm sure everyone is going to take action soon. The Valzone family already made their move. I have to admit, Orlok has gone above and beyond my expectations. It's a shame I didn't have a chance to play with Francesca. I suppose he isn't worth my time if he could die so easily. While enjoying the night breeze, I looked forward to the future. All I ask is to be entertained. I wonder if they're letting us run. No, that's not possible. Are you sure? Are you sure? Orlok's sunken tone betrayed that he might not believe what he's saying. We quickly made our way out of Veleno, reaching Krita before the sun rose. What is this place? I looked around the room where Orlok brought us. It was a very empty and uninhabited room. This is my hideout. Orlok answered my question while getting the fire started in the fireplace. I've been working as an informant here in Berlone. This place came in handy as a place to live. You were an informant? Come to think of it, Lan and Faye did mention it before. I needed to learn what was happening in Berlone when I was assigned here. It also helped getting me close to the Mafia because of the information I handled. But why here in Krita? Krita is home to many people who aren't originally from Berlone. It makes it a lot easier for me to blend into the crowd. Well, we should be safe here for now. For now. Oh, hiccup. I understood it was impossible to hide oneself completely from the Mafia. Just thinking that they would find us one day was making my stomach churn.
よし、
Done.
できた。
A dim fire lit the room. The relentless chill of the night was pushed back to the darkened corners. I felt a bit of warmth in the air now, which was rather calming.
聞いてほしいことがある。
Pink, I have something to tell you. Speaking my name, he knelt in front of me like he did before. What is it?
俺は
I
俺の
offer
全て
my
を
very self to you.
あなたに捧げるつもり。
What?
あなたに
I promise.
誓う。
His voice and eyes showed how serious he was about it. I was surprised by his sudden promise to me, but I didn't want to waste his heartfelt approach. Did I miss something? I promise. Nope, I didn't. I chose my words carefully. When you say your very self, does that also mean your life? Orlok nodded.
ラオ州の元を離れることになったけ
We've
ど、
separated from the Lao Shu, but
あの組織の手を借りな
I
くても、
promise I'll protect you,
俺は
even without their help.
必ずあなたを守ってみせる。それが
I
この町
believe
の人々のためになると思う。
that is for the best of all. Orlok. His pure eyes stared intently at me. But Orlok is only protecting me because... I looked right back at him. I'm not special at all. I highly doubt I have the power to stop the conflict amongst the families here. I really don't think I'm worth your life.
そんなことない。
That's not true.
あなたはヤンに対しても
I know you said
実感がない
something
って言って
similar
た
to
けど、
Yang, but
陛下が受けた信
His
託は絶対
Excellency's
だから、
prophecy is absolute.
あなたは
You are indeed
特別な
special.
存在。
Uh,
あなたに自覚がなくても
it's just that
間違
you
いない。
don't see it yourself. His
陛下は
Excellency is never
素晴ら
wrong.
しい人だから。
Orlok's eyes glimmered brightly as he boldly stated those words as fact. It seems like nothing I say will make Orlok change his way of thinking. Suddenly, I recall what Yang said earlier.
正解だ。やはり
Correct.
ラオ州は神を
They will
恐れ
despise us
非
and
道
pray
の
for
組
God
織
to
として
smite our
憎ま
family.
れるだろう。そして、
And
お
you
前
will
は悲
become
劇
a
の
maiden
乙女
of
になる。
tragedy.
哀
You will
れ
be
まれ、
spoken of
悼
as a
まれ、
legend.
伝説にそうなれば、
The
人
people
間は
will
信
seek
仰に
faith
救い
as
を求める。
salvation. It will
ロ
be
ズベル
easy
グ
for
卿は
Bishop
都合
Rosberg
のいい
to
作り
make
話で
up
こ
a
の町を
story to
丸め
take
込みや
control
す
of
い
his
状況
town.
が整うわけだ。
It seems like Yang doesn't believe in the prophecy from Bishop Rosberg. Of course he doesn't, because he's a master manipulator himself. He understands how this works. There was something I never shared with Orlok. I had my doubts about Bishop Rosberg the moment I discovered he was working with the Lao Shu. Maybe it's just me, but even if Bishop Rosberg was respected by everyone, I had never met him myself. I didn't know him enough to dismiss the doubts in my mind.
そろそろ休んで。
Pink,
あなた
you
も
should
今日は
rest.
疲れたと思う。
I'm sure you're very tired.
だけど、
But I'm
ごめ
so
んなさい。
sorry.
この部
I'm
屋
the
は
only one who
俺
has
が
lived
一人
in
で
this
使っ
room,
てたから誰かを連れてくるこ
which
と
is
にな
why I
ると思
don't
ってな
have a
くて。
bed. I didn't
ベッドも
expect to bring
置いてない。
anyone else here. It's okay. I've lived in a stone room before, sure. You don't see that person. No bed? So where do you sleep?
俺
Me?
普段は
I just sleep
床
on
で
the
寝てた。
floor. It's good for your back. I knew Orlok didn't have much interest in food, but it seemed that he also didn't have much interest in the general needs that most others cared about.
少し待ってて。
Wait a second.
何かあるか
I
もし
may
れない。
have something. Orlok searched the room thoroughly, but he returned with a sad look on his face, along with a single blanket in hand.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
これくらい
This
し
is
か。
all I have.
クッションもある
Well,
けど、
I have some cushions
毛
too.
布もあまり
The
綺
blanket
麗じゃなくて。
isn't very clean. Oh, no, I'm glad you found something. It is quite cold tonight, after all. Where's yours?
俺は何も
I
いら
don't
ない。
need anything. I'm
これくらいなら
accustomed to
平
the
気。
cold. Oh, he's Canadian. He's fine.
明日もっと
I'll
きち
get
んとしたも
something
のを
better
用意するから。
tomorrow, so please bear with
今日
me
だ
for
け
now.
我慢。
Well, I took the cushions and lined them in front of the fireplace. I sat on one with the blanket in hand. I don't think I can sleep tonight with all that's happened. How about we share the blanket, if you don't mind chatting a bit? I'm from Florida. I am intimate with the cold. Jesus. I don't know what that is in real people weather. You have to type it in Celsius. Cold. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. That's like 24 degrees. That's way too hot. That's like I'm wearing shorts and a tank top weather. I patted the cushion next to me and beckoned Orlok to sit down. But
でも
I
俺は
don't get my hoodies out until it's single digit weather, generally. I mean, if there's wind, I'll wear them in like 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. But sometimes it's also like 10 degrees Celsius and I'll be wearing short shorts and a hoodie. Because, you know, aesthetic. But you don't have anything planned, do you? I would be glad if you could talk with me. And we'd also be warmer together, right? Understood.
分かった。
I'll do as you say. Orlok hesitated for a moment, but soon took off his coat and sat next to me. And, like, to be clear, I'm not wearing a heavy hoodie in, like, 10 to 15 degree weather. Like, I'm wearing, like, the lightest of hoodies. And the reason why I got chillier before is because yeah, that's fair. The reason why I got chillier before here was because I was sitting, it's 0 degrees Celsius, so 32 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm sitting around in 2 tank tops and leggings. So I was like, oh, I'm a little chilly. I'm going to put on my hoodie or my zip up. I'm Canadian. We're built different. I'm built very warm, yeah. Also, cold resistance. I know there's a subclass or a class in D&D that has a built-in cold resistance. That's Canadian class. Orlok hesitated for a moment, but took off his coat and sat next to me. I read that already. Did I say class? I meant race. It's a racial trait. That's Canadian. I draped the blanket gently around our shoulders. Oh, look, it's a cute CG. We've earned this. There we go. Look at it. Look at how cute they are. Oh, babies. This is one good thing about the Orlok route is they have really cute CGs. The coldness from the room was no match for the warmth from the fire and the two of us. Orlok? Thank you for protecting me. I appreciate everything you've done, not only today. Protecting you is my mission. You don't need to thank me when I'm just doing my job. But if you weren't with me, I would probably be dead by now. Thank you so much. You can't imagine my appreciation of you. Pink, I make mistakes, but as long as you will still accept me as someone who can help you, then... The fire flickered its light over us as we looked at each other. Orlok, you've protected me, and I'll always believe I was someone, and always believed I was someone special. I can tell you always put me first in your mind. Oh, I'm still not sure who I really am, but I still appreciate what you've done for me. Thank you. I expressed my thanks to him in my own words. Orlok fixed his eyes on me. I will always protect you now and forever. Even if you don't see it yourself, there's something I know for sure. I'm glad you were the chosen one. Orlok? His breath caressed me as he spoke. As a disciple, I've always been alone. I would never be satisfied with what I did. Orlok's expression and demeanor was the same as usual. But I felt that he was about to tell me something he normally wouldn't normally disclose. I
幸
really
せと
don't
いうもの
know
自体
what
よ
happiness
くわからない
means.
けど、少なくとも
At the very
自分の
least,
ことを
I've
幸
never
せだと
seen
思
my
った
life
こ
as
とは
something to be
なかっ
happy
た。
about.
もちろん
Of course,
不幸せだと
that
思った
also
こと
means
も
I've never
ない
felt
けど、
down on my luck before.
俺のことを
If
拾
anything,
ってくれる人がいた。
I'm blessed that someone actually picked me up.
What?
What do you mean?
そう、
Bishop
ロ
Rosberg
ズベルグ教が
picked me
俺
up
を拾って
and raised me
育
himself.
ててくれた。
Oh.
陛下のおかげで
His Excellency
今がある。
is why I am who I am now.
ちゃんとこの世
I
に生を受け
understand
ただ
that
け
being
幸せ
alive
なん
is
だと
supposed
理
to
解してる。
be a blessing itself, but Orlock looked up as if reminiscing about the good old days.
あなたも
I saw you
教会の
and the
子供
kids
た
at
ちも
church, smiling with such
本
joy.
当に幸せそうに笑ってた。俺は
I know very well
Anna
that
Funi
I
Warai
can't smile like that. He had probably lived a life devoid of any happiness.
今まで自
I
分から
never
望んで
desired
何か
something
したいって
or
思うこと
wanted
はなか
something
った。
before,
今は
but
心から
now I want to protect you from the bottom of my heart.
あなたを守りたいと思え。そんな風に感じてるって
I've only just discovered that feeling in
Kizita.
me. Orlock looked at me again and gave me a small smile. His expression didn't change much, but I could tell he was a bit embarrassed.
使命だから
I'm not
守らなけ
protecting
れば
you
なら
just
ないとか
because it's my mission. Orlock stopped for a moment. He seemed hesitant to continue. He then took a breath and spoke.
俺は
I like seeing your
あなた
smile,
の笑顔を見るのが好き。あなたの笑顔を見ると
although it makes my chest hurt a bit. It
少し
also brings
痛い
me
ような
warmth.
きっと
I guess that
満たされるって
that's what it means
こ
to
うい
be
うことなんだろうな
satisfied.
って思う。
Orlock thinks of me like that? Is it because he believes I'm holy? Or
どうかした？
is there a problem? Orlock looked at me after noticing that I wasn't responding to him. I wonder if I can ask him a question. After giving it some thought, I'm mature. Is it because we're holy? You know what I'm saying? I've wanted to make that joke like 5 times. I'm so proud of you for making it. Ask him a question. Do you mind if I ask you something? Why do you think of me that way?
それは
Well,
多分
I think it's because
俺はあなた
I
のこ
like
とが
you. Like?
うん
Huh.
好き。
Yes. Like. Oh, I see. His quick and honest response caught me off guard. The matter-of-fact tone of his response made me realize something. Orlock's like probably doesn't mean that kind of like. It probably means the same like the kids use. I looked at Orlock as I mulled over his reply. I wonder what kind of childhood Orlock had. He often offered his life for the sake of fulfilling the missions assigned to him. Or had he often offered his life for the sake of fulfilling the missions assigned to him? Since when? For how long? Pain surged through my heart, thinking about his childhood.
どうかした？
Pink? No, wrong tone of voice. Pink? Is something wrong? Unable to word my questions right, I simply closed my eyes and leaned on him.
眠ったの？
Are you going to sleep? he whispered to me, but I didn't answer. Funeral! Oh no. The sky was bright and cloudless. The funeral of the Falzone family's underboss, Nicola Francesca, was about to end. The coffin was closed. Ugh. Ugh. Leo did his best to hold his tears back, but not anymore.
ニコラさん、ニコラさん、なんでこんなニコラ坊ちゃん。
Julia, who had known us since childhood, was sobbing inconsolably with grief. Everyone here came to see him off. Some couldn't hide their tears, while others shook with anger, but they were all struggling to face reality.
これから
I need to take care of things myself from now on. The funeral proceeded quietly. Nicola Francesca was now asleep in Berlone's church, seen off by his family. R.I.P. to Nicola, the guy who murdered us 900 times. 07's in the chat. Goodbye, Nicola. Dante. Upon returning to the manor, I immediately headed to my desk. For the time being, I would need to handle all the work my underboss had been taking care of.
ニコラは今まで
Nicola was
これ
handling
ほど
all
の
of
仕
this
事を処理してい
paperwork.
たのか。
I realized again the magnitude of his existence. Ugh. I had no time to wallow in sorrow. All I could feel now was pain.
ニコラは最後まで
Nicola
俺の
worried
ことを案
about
じ
me
てい
to
た。
the very end.
あの誓いは果たさな
I
けれ
need
ば
to
ならない。
fulfill my promise to him,
だから
even if it means I need to do it
俺
alone.
は
I needed to fulfill my role as the boss of the Falzone family. In the name of the Falzone, I wouldn't allow that murderer to escape. I felt the tears beginning to fill my eyes. Okay, trying to find a good place to save for a second so I can get up and go to the bathroom. But I'm not going to find a good place to save, so we're just going to save there. I'm back. Alright. Let's crack my neck and back and keep going. Oh, thank you. I feel the tears beginning to fill my eyes. What I wanted now was to take in his warmth. Oh, you heard that one? Yeah, that'll happen. Sorry. Put my sweater back on. How you doing over there, Fluffy? Chapter 5. It had been a week since we lived at the hideout in Creta. Fortunately, no one had found us out yet. We were living a life of relative peace. Orlok returned with some groceries in hand. I greeted him with a smile. Welcome back, Orlok. Orlok seemed relieved, seeing I was still in the room. I'm glad you're safe. Shouldn't I be saying that? But I was the one who left you here. I was worried the whole time. Buying groceries is no problem, but leaving you is too much to handle. Orlok was the one who stepped outside and was exposed to danger. I suppose it was simply him putting me first as usual. I'm grateful that he's so thoughtful, but I also feel sorry that for what he has to endure. Though I was certain the anxiety he felt was much worse. I'm sure the Laoshu and the Falzone are looking for us. Sweet Orlok thinking he's too big to handle. He's like a stray kitten and everyone else is big dog energy. It'll be alright. We're in hiding. And I'm only going to trusted vendors. Trusted, as in vendors who don't ask questions. They do charge a premium, though. He handed me a paper bag. I took it from his hands and looked inside. Fresh tomatoes and shiny pine nuts, ripe grapes and bright red pomegranates. I couldn't help but say, they all look lovely. I can't wait. I tried to speak in as bright of a tone as I could to keep the mood light. I'm glad you like them. You mentioned the vendors charge a premium. Aren't these expensive? I don't know what's normal in Bologna. I've never bought things much. Come to think of it, I recall Orlok telling me that he usually only eats bread and drinks water. Money isn't a problem since His Excellency gave me enough to keep me here. I haven't spent much of it anyways, so there's nothing to worry about. Thank you, Orlok. I'll make a really good meal with them. I gave a heartfelt thanks as I embraced the precious groceries in my arm. So, I placed the groceries in the kitchen, then prepared a drink for Orlok to keep him warm. To warm him up. After we took a sip of our cafe latte, I decided to ask him how things were outside. So, is everything all right out there? After all, I haven't stepped outside ever since we arrived. Whatever Orlok told me was basically all I knew about current events. It's very quiet. The Falzone are in mourning now. Besides that, I haven't seen anything particular. A few days back, Nicola Francesca's funeral was held in private at the church. The public was told that he had an illness, but it was still a sudden death for someone so young and in his position. Who would actually believe such a thing? We know all too well why he died. My memories. They vividly retained the image of his bloody figure and made my chest tighten in pain. I took a slow, deep breath and asked him another question. That day, it seemed as though the Falzone wasn't only after us. They attacked the Laoshu too, didn't they? What happened at the church? I went there today to see how things are. I also talked with a few to get more details. What did you find out? I lunged forward at Orlok in anticipation, and he simply nodded. Fortunately, no civilians were killed that day. Ah, thank God. The sisters and the others were hiding, but some of them were found by the Lao Shu. They were used as captives and were injured, but none of the injuries were critical. The sisters. Orlok hesitantly continued. And the nave of the church was damaged somewhat during the fighting. It was? Yes. They're fixing it now, but the site is still off limits. It was the main hall of the church. It was where the people of the town... Sorry, I'm trying to itch my face. My glasses are in the way. It was where the people of the town could offer their prayers. The fighting continued through the night, but by morning the Lao Shu retreated. I think our departure from the Lao Shu triggered their retreat. Really? It would seem so, as the timing matches. And the Lao Shu did lose Pinker NeonNova's holy support. Now the people in the town can't side with the Lao Shu simply because you were with them. But, knowing Yang, I doubt your departure will be shared anytime soon with the public. I also think that things may have gone badly for them had they stayed at the church any longer. That makes sense. There were many who weren't very happy about the Lao Shu being there. If they caused any more problems at the church, the citizens wouldn't stand for it. Then again, I highly doubt Yang cares much about how people view them. Of course, their retreat may be more than just that. Orlok reddened as he held his growling stomach. I guess it's about lunchtime. Let me get something ready. I'll help too. Yes, please. Orlok quietly offered his help, and I smiled as I stood. We needed to hide ourselves while we were being hunted. Anxiety and fear were with us every day. But amidst all that, what I just heard brought a bit of joy to my heart. The fact that the Lao Shu had to retreat from the church because we weren't with them. That they could no longer abuse the standing of the living saint from the prophecy. And that the people wouldn't be used in the Lao Shu's schemes. If we stayed with the Lao Shu and listened to Yang, we would still be safe now, but I couldn't knowingly deceive the citizens and drag them into conflict. I wouldn't have done it even if it meant risking my life by refuting Yang's orders. That night, we stood at a crossroads, and I knew we had made the right choice. I was certain of it. Oh, it's just going to autoplay that? Okay. Yang. Gilbert! Looks like you guys have been causing problems. So, what do you want to talk about? I haven't been causing problems. All we did was help the church get rid of the rats from their grounds. If
ロ
anything,
ズベルグ教
the
の名前や
Lao Shu
信
using
託を
Bishop
傘に来て
Rosberg and the
教会に居
prophecy
座
is
っ
the
ていたラオ
problem.
シュだろ
その話だが
About that,
ラオ州もロズベ
it
ルグに
seems that
利用されて
Rosberg
いたよ
has
う
been
だ
using the
ど
Lao
ういう
Shu.
ことだ
What?
ラオ州は
We
ロズベル
received
グ
a
からある
request from
女を保
Rosberg
護し
to
て
help
ほし
place
い
a
と
certain
依
girl
頼さ
under
れ
our
ていた
custody.
騒ぎになっている教会の
You mean
女
that girl
か
from the church? Pinker NeonNova, was it?
ああロズベル
Yes.
グは
Rosberg
信
said
託が示した
she
女
was
だと
chosen in
話して
his
いたのだが
prophecy,
こ
but
の
now
女
she's using
い
it
つ
to
の
call
間にか
herself
増
a
長し
saint.
て自ら聖女を
Yang! You did that!
町の連中が聖女
I
様を
heard
信
there was a
仰して
whole
るっ
lot
て
of
話
people
は
starting to
俺
worship
の
her.
耳にもと本気で自分を聖
Does she
女だって思ってん
seriously
のか
think she's
そ
a
の
saint?
女
そうだ俺も
Indeed.
迷惑してい
And
る
it's a pain for us
ラオ
trying と
州の
stop
中
her
で
from
も自分を
converting
信
my
じ
men.
るよう解き始めて
Yang! Stop telling lies!
今ではラオ
Some of
州
them
の
have
構
already
成員
fallen
に
for
も
her
信者が
ruse.
できまた直接の使
We
者と
also
して
have a
ロ
disciple
ズ
by
ベ
the
ル
name
グ
of
からオルロ
Orlok
ッ
who
クと
was
い
sent
う
by
男が派
Rosberg.
遣されていた
I love when he causes trouble. He's such a bad man.
ファルツォーネは知っているだろうニコラ・フラン
You are
チェスカを
familiar
下
with
した
him,
男
are you not? The man who killed Nicola Francesca? I grinned as I spoke Orlok's name and looked at Falzone.
あいつは
So he is
オル
called
ロックというの
Orlok.
か
Falzone muttered in a low tone. I nodded to confirm.
教会に警備を派遣
Orlok
していた
ordered
の
my
も
men to
オ
station
ルロックの
themselves
指
at the
示による
church.
ラオ州とファルツォ
But
ーネの
because
対
of the
立が
warring
激化し
between
たこ
us
と
and
で
the
ラ
Falzone
オ州
family,
はロズベルグに見
Rosberg
限られ
cut
た
our ties.
ならそのオルロ
So
ックと
whether
やらは今
this
どこにいる
so where is this Orlok
私前につけ
person
させ
then?
ろ
He needs to pay for what he's done.
もういない
He's gone.
オルロックは
Orlok
そ
took
の
that
女
girl
を
with
連れ
him.
て消えた
本当なのか
Is that true?
この席で嘘はつかん意味
It
がない
makes
から
no
な
sense for me to lie now.
身から出たサビでは
This is
ある
all
が
our fault.
ラオ
So
州
as
と
the
して
Lao
も
Shu,
無論
we
こ
will
のまま
not
には
let
し
them
て
get
おけ
away.
あの女
The Lao Shu will
そして
kill
オルロ
Orlok
ックは
and Pinker
ラオ州
NeonNova.
で始末する
He's coming to kill me. I shouldn't be excited about that. But I am. God damn it. I have a problem.
待て
Wait,
オルロックは俺の
Orlok
獲
is
物
mine.
そうだろうな
Yes,
当然
of
ファルツォ
course
ーネは
Falzone
そう
is
したい
going
は
to
ず
say
だ
that.
それに
In
ファル
addition,
ツォーネはもとも
Falzone
とその
family
女と縁がある
were the ones who first made contact with that girl.
彼女をさらった
I
張
cannot
本人
now allow the person
生かして
who
はおけない
abducted her to live.
何よりフ
Come
ランチェ
now.
スカの仇
It's
だから
because he
な
killed Francesca. He was being careful with his words, but it was clear Falzone had a grudge against Orlok. Pink, come take me out. Like on a date? With a sniper. Listen. If it's Yang, I can go either way. Though I would prefer something more intimate than a sniper rifle when it comes to Yang. I like when he's up close. I was sure Redford was aware of that as well.
悪いがダンテ
Sorry,
俺
Dante.
はその二人に
Those two
でか
broke a
い取
huge
引を
deal I
ご
had
破産に
going.
されたんでな誰の獲物だ
I
ろう
don't
と
care who's after
俺た
who.
ちビスコンティも
Visconti can't
見て
just
見
let
ぬ
them
ふりは
be.
できねえわかるだろ
They spat
こ
on
れ
our
はメン
family's
ツの問
name.
題だ見つければオルロック
We'll
は
kill
殺す
Orlok the moment
女は
we find him. As for the
そう
girl,
だな
I guess we can sell
ど
her.
こかに売り飛ばすのもいい
Gilbert! The conversation was going as planned. Whoever finds them first has the right to them. As for Orlok, he can only die once. So whoever finds him can just kill him. I suppose that would be reasonable. I'm glad you agree. Another proposition. It's futile to fight amongst ourselves. I'd like to propose a peace treaty until someone kills Orlok. Oh boy. To prohibit fighting against each other? Of all people, I didn't expect to hear that from you, Yang. I thought you lived to fight. Come now. We all have something against those two. Even I occasionally care about the future of Berlin. The two of them glanced at me, noticing my obvious lie. Whatever. It's a waste of time fighting each other anyways. I have nothing to say, as long as we can kill Orlok. Yang, to confirm, Arca is neutral territory. That also applies to the church. Looks like you've retreated, but next time you break the rule, our deal's over. I knew you'd say that. But Lao Shu has no interest in the church. The only reason we were there was because Orlok and that girl wanted us there. But with them gone, we finally withdrawn. After my repeated lies, I looked at Falzone. But as I understand, the church is currently under the Falzone family's control. So, having faith lets you break that rule? Well, they're a lot better than your guys. Didn't you say you weren't interested? If so, the Falzone should move out of the church as well. Isn't that right? We only move to free the church from them. If the Lao Shu promises not to bother them, I will withdraw my men. Then, just so we're all on the same page, our peace treaty is null the moment one of us craps on Arca. Deal? Thank you, Gilbert. Baby, why did you get out of your bed to sleep beside your bed? What the hell? I buy you nice things. And then you sleep beside them instead. Yes. That sounds fine to me. And Dante, I don't like blindsiding people, so I'll let you know something now. That girl may be special to you folks, but I have no plans of assuring her safety. The moment she defies me, I'll kill her. Okay, Gilbert. Is that fine with you? A brilliant suggestion, especially as the Lao Shu don't exactly have a light hand. Falzone's answer was silence. Nothing signaling a yes or a no. I see. Falzone still wants her alive. But will he put her life above his vengeance for Francesca? I believe that's about it for today. A rather interesting discussion indeed. I stood up and headed for the door. I would love to fight with Orlok before he dies. But what to do? Whatever the results, all I knew was that I wouldn't be bored for a while. Dante Falzone. With Yang gone, I began to speak to Gilbert in private. Gilbert, my thanks to you for the church. Don't worry, it wasn't much anyway. It's a pain to go for my weekly prayers and seeing those rats crawling around the area. The Falzone family had a relationship with the church for generations, which is why I should have spoken about the church first. Gilbert was well aware, but somehow managed to approach the topic first. I need to be calmer and have a stronger front if I'm to stay as boss. The man who supported me was gone. I berated myself for my inadequacy. My condolences. It seemed Gilbert knew why I wasn't very vocal. He was a sharp one. I admired that about him. Yeah. We have the advantage. Let's get this over with quickly. I could see the resolve in Gilbert's eyes. Without waiting for my reply, he quickly stood up and headed out of the room. I was certain of it. It had been 2 weeks since we moved into this hideout. Today's meal is made alla Veneto. The northern region of Italy, Veneto, the northern region of Italy that faces the Adriatic Sea. The capital of Veneto is Venice. Okay, what does that mean? I made a ballicata manicato with penne navy soup bean. Okay? Navy bean soup. I added celery and onions to the soup for added flavor. I finished the meal with a seafood risotto. Using cinnamon in the risotto gives it just the right touch. Why Veneto? Orlok tilted his head in surprise. You told me yesterday that you came from Veneto, right? Last night. You can't sleep? No, I can't. Despite the peace and quiet, I couldn't seem to get my restless heart to calm down. Maybe it was because of the constant tension, but I was tossing and turning. Orlok, if it's all right with you, can we talk a little more? Of course, but I don't really have anything to talk about. So I'll listen to whatever you want to say. If you ask, I'll answer. Okay. After a brief pause, I asked my question. You mentioned before that Bishop Rosberg took you in. Do you remember when that happened? Yes. Ah. Then can I ask you something else? Sure. I have nothing to hide. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Seeing his innocent eyes made me hesitate a moment. What was life like before you met Bishop Rosberg? I lived with my mother in a village outside of Veneto. Mother wasn't very healthy, so she died when I was little. I was all alone. I was an only child. I was only a
一人では
child,
生きていけな
so
か
I
った。
couldn't survive by myself.
残飯を漁って
I ate
食
whatever
いつないで
scraps I could find. I
少し
ended
して
up in an
養護院
orphanage
の人に
later.
見つかって、その少し後に
Soon after
陛下
that,
が養護院まで
His
慰問に来てくだ
Excellency
さって
came for
俺を拾ってくれた。
consolation, and it was then that he took me under his care. I see. I have to keep my smile. I smiled in an attempt to brighten the mood in the room. It came out somewhat awkward. I'm surprised you remember your childhood so well.
あなたは
What about you? Me?
あなたはブルローネの教
Where
会
did
に
you
来る
live
前
before you arrived at
ど
the
こで
church
暮
in
らしてた？
Berlin? I'm not sure. I don't remember my parents. Which is why I'm a little jealous that you still remember your life with your mother. Hmm?
俺はお母さんにはなれないけど
I can't be your mother,
あなたと一緒に
but
は
I
暮
can
らせ
live
る
with
から
you. Oh, cutie, stop it. Stop that right now. Don't be adorable. Coffee. Okay, I finished the last of my coffee here. Uh-huh. Questions filled my mind. His serious tone and the words he used caught me off guard. Perhaps Orlok is trying to console me somehow? Huh? Thank you, Orlok. Orlok looked at me with a questioning expression. His eyes softened and he gave a sigh of relief. Last night I felt the warmth of his kindness touch my soul, which is why I wanted to show my gratitude by preparing these special dishes. Orlok blinked at me a few times as he stared at the meal in front of him. I didn't have the exact recipes on hand, but they should be fairly close.
あなた流なら
Anything you make is delicious.
あなたが作る料理は
Whatever ingredients you
どんなものでも
use,
全部
whatever you
美
prepare,
味しいから
is always delicious. Thank you, Orlok. That's very flattering. Orlok tilted his head and looked at me with a bewildered expression on his face.
料理がうまいのは
But you are a
あなただけど。
great cook? I giggled at his honest words. We then said grace and began to eat. Shame. Dante Falso. I had been searching for their whereabouts with no progress in sight. The passage of time was starting to take a toll on my nerves.
No.
Yes, I'll take it.
Yo, Dante.
Hey, Dante.
何の用だ、ギルバート。
What is it, Gilbert?
オルロックの件だ。
It's about
こっちはもう
Orlok.
あ
I
いつの
got a
身
lead
柄を
on
押
him,
さえる手はず
and
が
I'm ready
整
to
った。
nab him now.
バスは
What? Where
オ
is
ルロ
he?
ックはどこに潜んでい
Where
る？
is Orlok hiding?
教えると思うか？
Like I'd tell you.
早い者勝ちの
Remember,
約束だ。
first come, first
俺
serve.
だって譲る気は
I'm
ねえ
gonna
よ。
get him before anyone.
だったらなぜわざわざ俺に？
Then why are you calling me?
オルロックはお前の仇でもある。
Orlok is also your enemy. That's why. I calmed down, hearing his words. Reminding myself of Nicola's death helped me regain my footing as boss. Forgive me, Gilbert. Thank you for the information. I was ashamed to have acted out of line, demanding something to which I had no right. But I couldn't suppress the anger inside of me. My emotions ruled my every muscle. I needed to kill him with my own hands. That was all I could think of. Oh boy. We then said grace and began to eat. I understood that Veneto was a place I used to call home, but I lived there only a short while. I don't remember the food I ate back then. Is that so? But I appreciate this thoughtful meal you've made. Thank you very much. I'm glad. Oh, and it tastes very good. I'm glad you like it. I'll be sure to make it again. Orlok? What is it? Orlok closed his eyes, then spoke as if he were moved by the taste. Until now, I never thought food could be so delicious. Food was simply a blessing of sustenance from above. Nothing more, nothing less. But Orlok looked at me and spoke in a gentle and sincere tone. The warmth of the food and eating it with you here is probably why it tastes so good. We're just having a cute little romance, and Mafia's trying to come and murder us. 3 different Mafias. Like, it's a lot. I felt a surge of warmth flowing through me again, hearing his heartfelt words. The peace and calm of my daily life wasn't enough to ease my anxiety. Though it was good we hadn't been found yet. But they must be doing something. I tried to ignore the unsettled feelings as Orlok was leaving to buy some groceries. Orlok, I'm sure you'll be fine, but please be safe. I'll be back shortly, so please wait inside. Don't worry. I'll stay right here. Be careful. Orlok. I'm being watched. I sensed someone looking at me. I deviated from my original course and went through various streets and alleys, but I could still sense someone tracking me. I need to buy some food for today, but I guess that won't happen. I gave a deep sigh before sprinting quickly through the narrow alley. He went that way. I heard yelling and footsteps following me. I exited the alley into the streets. It appeared I had been ambushed. We found you a lot faster than we thought. It's payback time, Orlok. Gilbert Redford? Why is the Visconti after me? Payback? He's a lot stronger than he looks. Surround him so that he can't escape. He's not going easy on me. I gauged my distance from them and looked for an opening. How did you find me? We have our relationships with the shops and the citizens around here. Impressive, isn't it? Going outside put me out in the open, so I shouldn't be surprised I was found. Gilbert Redford had strong ties with the people here and was well liked. It would have been easy for him to gather information from those living around here. I thought I might catch you coming out sooner or later. My timing couldn't have been better. Remember, the public isn't at fault here. I understand. If anything, I should blame myself. The Visconti soldiers had their guns pointed at me from all sides. I didn't mind facing them, but now was not the time to fight. I'll make my escape when they fire. On Gilbert's command, they pulled their triggers. I need to keep casualties to a minimum. I jumped towards the nearest Visconti member and kneed him in the face. Ah! I used the momentum to jump off his shoulder. I saw an opening now. I quickly jumped through and flew past the soldiers. After him! I heard yelling and gunfire behind me. I need to escape. What should I make for dinner tonight? Seafood was plentiful, especially with the bounty of the sea in Berlone. But eating the seafood over and over again might be tiring to Orlok. Didn't have many ingredients to work with. There wasn't much to do anyway, so I could think about it for a little while. Maybe I can make some sweets. I looked out the window at the sun-soaked townscape. The days have been shorter recently. I wonder what's taking him so long. He's usually back by now. Something wasn't right. I had a bad feeling since this morning. The fact that Orlok was still not back yet worried me quite a bit. Orlok is strong to handle himself. I told myself to calm down. Unable to keep still, I stood from my chair. When? Orlok, what happened? I looked at Orlok, home from shopping. My eyes widened. Orlok's clothes were stained with blood. I'm sorry. I couldn't buy anything. Never mind that. We need to treat your wounds. Let me take a look at you. No. I can handle myself. You just sit over there. I yelled at Orlok, who was trying to keep me away. Unable to say anything in response, Orlok quietly complied. Let me take your clothes off. Ayo? Try not to move your arm, okay? Okay. I needed to take his coat off. I removed his blood-stained coat carefully so that it wouldn't rub against his wounds. A blotch of dark red lined his arm. It looked like a bullet wound, with the bullet still lodged inside. But that wasn't the only reason why my breath caught in my throat. He's so scarred. Orlok's soft white skin was covered in countless scars. Most of them only just healed over.
大丈夫。
Don't worry. He tried to calm me down.
これくらいの怪我なら
I'm used to being injured like
昔から何
this.
度もしてる。だからこの傷が
That's
どの
why I
程
know
度の
my
ものか
current
わかるし、
wounds aren't much
ど
to
れくら
worry
いで
about.
元通りに動けるのかもわかる。
He had been wounded so many times before. My mind went blank just thinking about it.
あなたのことはこれからも
You
ちゃ
don't
ん
have
と
to
守
worry.
る。
I'll protect you
何
no
も
matter
心
what,
配しな
Pink.
くていい。
I said to him what was on my mind. Don't say that. Despite his injuries, Orlok was more worried about me than himself. I felt like I was going to cry.
どうかした？
Are you okay? Orlok began to look flustered, seeing my eyes well up with tears. I want him to take better care of himself. Just stay still. I'll take care of it. I looked carefully at the wound. I washed the blood off his arm and confirmed that the bullet was still lodged inside. Orlok raised his left hand reluctantly, seeing my pale face. He seemed unsure of what to do with his left hand, whether to help me or not. Don't worry, I'll do it. Stay still. Okay.
わかった。
Back at the church, we saw a lot of people who couldn't afford to go to the hospital. I even saw one of the sisters remove a bullet from someone. I still remember the procedure. Just stay calm. I took a breath and examined his wound again. I'll get the bullet out of you. Bite on this towel so that you don't.
必要ない。
It's fine.
大丈夫。
I can handle it. Leave me, Orlok. Okay, I'm coming around to him. It took me 5 chapters, but I'm getting there. I nodded, seeing Orlok so calm. I got a sharp knife and some alcohol. I then cleaned the knife with the alcohol and heated the tip of the knife over the fire. Okay, are you ready? Orlok nodded silently at me. He used his hand to spread the wound open. I needed to do this quickly and precisely. It took all my might to force my shaking hand to stay still. Being careful not to cause too much damage to his flesh, I carefully dislodged the bullet. Done.
ありがとう。
Thank you for taking it out, Pink.
これでもう大丈夫だから。
That should be enough. You don't have to worry
心
anymore.
配しなくていい。
If you say so. I cleaned his open wound, then wrapped his arm tightly with bandages. My hands started shaking again as I questioned Orlok. Do you mind telling me what happened? Who did this? He awkwardly put his clothes back on before answering my question.
ビスコンティ。
The Visconti.
ギル
I
バー
was
ト・レッ
attacked
ドフォ
by
ード
Gilbert
に
Redford.
襲われた。
Why is the Visconti after you?
それは
I don't know. Orlok closed his eyes. It seemed he wasn't sure himself. Well, you just rest. You need to sleep and recover your strength. I held back the paranoia I felt of the other enemies approaching. His expression looked like that of a lost child. Orlok nodded in compliance, then calmly laid himself down on the floor. Orlok, how long has it been? I slowly opened my eyes in the darkness of the room. I tilted my head and saw Pink next to me. She looked at me and gave a sigh of relief. How do you feel? I think I'm fine now. I tried to sit up. No, you don't, Orlok. You need more sleep. Pink kept me from getting up and urged me to stay down. But you've been asleep the whole day. You must be hungry. Let me get you something. You just wait here. Okay. Her words were unique. For some reason, her words made me compliant. Dom energy. I couldn't fathom why that was so. Okay, Orlok, open wide. Dom energy. You shouldn't move your arm yet. You're right-handed, aren't you? She scooped some food onto the spoon, then positioned it in front of me. It appeared she wanted to spoon feed me. That would be too embarrassing. I'm fine. I can eat myself. Besides, being embarrassed, there was no way I could have Pink serve me. I appreciated her thoughtfulness, but I needed to take care of myself. Oh, look at his little blush. We're coming around here. Absolutely not. Don't move your arm while it's still hurting, you hear? But you're only worrying me, Orlok. Oh, fine. I really could take care of myself. But I couldn't fight back against Pink's orders. Dommy, Mommy said, shut up. Sit down. Listen. Ugh. This was all too strange. Why was Pink being so kind to me? Was it okay for me to accept her kindness? Before long, I finished my meal. Now then, you should sleep a bit more. Okay. But her kindness is very relaxing and comforting. I feel warm inside. Do you think you can sleep again? I'll try my best, but... I hesitated a bit, but I couldn't stop myself from saying it. Will you be here next to me? What did I say? Why did I say that? I was always alone when I was injured in battle. Not once had anyone shown me kindness or care. But not once had I felt lonely. Pink was looking at me with a surprised expression on her face. She must have thought I'd gone mad, given what I'd said. Are you stretching? Good baby. No wonder Pink was surprised. Why, of course. Pink gently smiled at me. Her smile was pure and serene, just like that of a saint. I'm not a saint. I'm just a girl you want to I need a bleep button. Just like a girl you want to bang. If that's what you want. She stood up and laid down at my bedside, right next to me. Thank you. The only words I could say were words of appreciation. Pink spoke to me kindly. Oh. I'll stay here until you fall asleep. You've worked yourself too much, Orlok. You need to get some rest. Thank you, Pink. But I have a duty to fulfill. Just a girl you want to paint the insides of. Just forget about that for now. No matter if you're a saint or a warrior, everyone rests when they're hurt. Just focus on getting better. Don't worry about a thing. Her words flowed through my entire body. Understood. Her words were like magic. I could feel my exhaustion melting away. Pink ever so gently patted me on the head. Well then, how about a bedtime story? How about the bell of our Atri, or perhaps the crystal rooster? The bell of Atri. An old tale from Italy about a large bell that hung in the tower in a village of Atri. Crystal rooster. An old folk tale about a crystal rooster with feathers so white it looked transparent. Ugh. She must have been doing this since she began taking care of the kids at the church, thinking of myself being treated as a child. It somehow stirred the ticklish feeling inside of me, but I was sad at the same time. What an odd feeling. Could you tell me about your childhood? My childhood? Well, I don't think it's very interesting. I was raised at the church like everyone else. Being raised at the church wasn't normal, or so I believed. Sure, there were kids without parents, but the majority of kids were raised with a family. Pink accepted a life being raised in the church. That was truly amazing. And so you can't imagine how angry Sister Sophia was. Pink smiled, remembering both the good and the bad from those days. Seeing her expressions change vibrantly with each word was making me feel uneasy. I was the one who asked her to be by my side, but it was rather embarrassing to have her so close to me like this. What should I do? Pink smiled again and patted me on the head. Getting a bit sleepy? Why not close your eyes for a bit? Oh. She gently held my hand. I really didn't expect that. Pink left her other hand on my head, and she began to sing me a lullaby. I must pay her back for her kindness. Pink. What is it, Orlok?
本当は
I may not have the right to say this, but
俺は
my life was never
あ
filled
なたと
with
出会ってか
this
らが
much joy and
これま
happiness
での
before I
人
met
生で
you.
一番
Orlok. She looked at me with surprise on her face. I wanted to tell her more, but I couldn't come up with the right words to say. Slowly, my eyes began to close. The warmth I was feeling inside me lulled me into a deep slumber. Orlok, are you awake? Looks like he fell asleep. I gave a sigh of relief. I looked at Orlok's sleeping face as I pondered over the words he just said. Orlok said something about not having the right to express his feelings. That's absolutely untrue. He had the right to feel and say whatever he wanted. He fought for me and got injured, all while worrying about my well-being. He looks like any other boy, too. His sleeping face looked a lot younger than usual. I'm sorry, Orlok. If only I had the power to protect you. Seeing his sleeping face was making me feel guilty for not being of much help to him. All right. I think that's where we're going to call PioFiore tonight. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye!